Hello, it's me, Lawrence Krauss, again. I wrote up a constitutional amendment to add a board of trustees to the U.S. government. It's called Article 8, and you can read it at www.yes8.us. It adds a board of trustees with all power necessary to assure self-government. And one question to consider is Donald Trump really the president? The simple answer is no. And I'm going to give you my reasoning. Uh, Joe Biden was a domestic enemy. A domestic enemy is an oath-bound officer or official who betrays the sovereignty of the United States to the British primarily. Joe Biden nominated Rhodes Scholars to high office. The Transportation Secretary and the Commerce Secretary and the National Security Advisor were all Rhodes Scholars. Rhodes Scholars are avowedly against the sovereignty of the American people. That their job is to be domestic enemies in target countries. So to nominate such characters makes you a domestic enemy. So Biden is a domestic enemy. And the Senate, which nominated, or rather confirmed, these characters to high office, are also domestic enemies. Their job is to object to nominees who are domestic enemies. So they failed us. The entire U.S. Senate failed us. And of course, the House never sent up any resolutions to object to these nominations. So the entire Senate and the entire House is a domestic enemy Congress, which means that no Congress exists in reality. Therefore, we didn't have a Congress to certify the election, which means that Donald Trump is a balloon without a string attached, basically. So technically, he's not a president. Secondarily, the Colorado courts found that Donald Trump was a domestic enemy, and yet the Supreme Court Justice Roberts, he swore Donald Trump in, which is to say he aided and abetted a domestic enemy into high office. So the Supreme Court Chief Justice is also a domestic enemy. Recently on Donald Trump's social media account, he heard about or was offered to bring the United States back into the British Empire. And he said that it sounds good to him that King Charles would offer the United States to go back into the British Empire. This is an absolute repudiation of our independence. It's also an absolute repudiation of our form of government. It's an absolute repudiation of our sovereignty. So it's a statement that he has forfeited his own office. Even if you claim that he rightfully won the election and was rightfully certified, he basically resigned by doing such a thing. So no, Donald Trump is not the president. Interestingly, Donald Trump is born on the same day as the death of Benedict Arnold, which is quite interesting to me. And there are other many ways to see how Donald Trump is not the president, but he's certainly a domestic enemy. A domestic enemy is obligated to fulfill the constitutional obligations. During Donald Trump's first term, we have a problem here in New York State where the state legislature betrayed itself and gave Andrew Cuomo, basically dictatorial powers. And the Constitution guarantees the states a Republican form of government. So when Andrew Cuomo basically became the dictator of New York, Donald Trump had an obligation to do something about it, and he didn't do anything about it. So we have the same problem over and over again, that Donald Trump belly flops when it counts. He's a fake nationalist. Any true nationalist would not support a foreign entity like Israel or allow the country to go into a British Empire that's basically a corpse, So nobody wants that. But he admires King Charles. He likes the royal family. He likes the celebrity crap of it, and he's extremely superficial in this way. Of course, I think deep down he's always been a British agent for a long time. He's an occultist, an astrologer. He bombed Syria twice and also Yemen during the Mercury retrogrades. That wouldn't be a coincidence unless you believe in coincidences. Um, so no, Donald Trump is not the president. So this opens up a whole host of cool stuff because it means that all his executive orders are zero. Any laws he passes are zero. Any military orders he might issue are worthless. Nobody has to listen to him, and the country should, listen to a board of trustees that actually follows the law. If you believe in the rule of law, then Donald Trump is not the president. If you don't believe in the rule of law, that's fine, but don't be angry when the rule of law returns and sweeps Donald Trump away. Thank you.